let's go right to the phones and bring in a guest, Jay Binkley. He is the co-host of the Day Shift program on 610 Sports in Kansas City. Jay, you're not going to like my first question, so bear with me, all right? Eric and I were talking about the All-Star starters. There are 4 Kansas City Royals in the starting lineup. A couple of weeks ago, it looked like there might be as many as 7 or 8. But try to be objective here, Jay, if you don't mind. Could you make a case that no Kansas City Royals should be in the starting American League lineup?
You know what? That's tough to do, and I really can't, because I look at these guys, and one thing that's often misunderstood in baseball is how good defensively these guys are. You look at Alex Gordon, there's not a better left fielder in Major League Baseball. 4 gold gloves. He got the platinum glove last year, which is a culmination of all the gold gloves, and you give it to the top one. He was the platinum gold glove winner. You have Sal Perez behind the plate, 2-time gold glove guy. He's got 13 home runs this year, and his defensive WAR is just about as good as anybody in the American League except one guy. Lorenzo Cain in the outfield is another guy who's going to get his first gold glove this year. Would have gotten it last year, but he split time in right field as well as center. Also, he's the leading guy. He's got better average than any other outfielder in the American League. Escobar is one that you could make an argument with at shortstop, although if you watch the guy play, he's a magician playing that position, and he'll be looking for possibly his first gold glove this year. But Infante and guys like that, no, they probably didn't deserve the All-Star game. But I think you can make a pretty good case for the gold glovers and how good defensively these 4 guys are for the Royals. And let's make no mistake about it, as I mentioned, Lorenzo Cain leads all outfielders in average.
Jay, are you finding it ironic that after the Royals' success last year getting the World Series and the fact they're playing very good ball again this year and leading their division, that folks in Kansas City have to defend what's going on with Royals baseball?
You know, it's weird. It's weird because, you know, this team is the Vegas favorite to win the World Series. They do have the best winning percentage of every team in the American League. They have a few less losses than the Houston Astros. They have more wins, but by winning percentage, the Royals are the best team in the American League. And, you know, sometimes I don't think the Royals have that true superstar. I think the one guy that is a true superstar around baseball, that's a no-doubter, would be Wade Davis, the setup man. He's by far and away the best setup man and reliever in baseball, probably going to be selected as a reserve. But, yeah, it seems like that's what's been happening. Kansas City kind of defending itself and the fans. But, well, let's make no mistake about it. Major League Baseball asked for this. They asked for this voting to be online. They make it very easy for any team to vote for their player. You simply go to the voting and you click on your favorite team, and everybody else disappears but your player. And we've seen crazy stuff like down in Houston, Vote Altuve. They changed their Twitter account to Vote Altuve. If they get 10,000 votes the other night in the ballpark when the Royals were down there, they got a free Chick-fil-A sandwich at the ball, or a coupon for a free Chick-fil-A. This is nothing different than other teams have done. Heck, a couple years ago, Seattle Mariners had a little voting booth out at their stadium. You went out and voted. You got a discount on concession. The Royals fans did what the thing is set up for. It's vote for your favorite player. Major League Baseball has been made it very easy to vote in 35 times a day. I mean, how crazy is that? Major League Baseball asked for this. They let people do it, so that's what people have done.
Jay, I would agree with pretty much everything that you just said. I don't think the infielders necessarily should get in from the Royals, but I like your outfielders. And I think this is a case of envy, that the big markets are envious that they are getting their guys pushed to the side, in little itty-bitty Kansas City, by the way, as you said, the best team in the American League, has more than a few guys in. It's the Yankees fans, and it's the Boston Red Sox fans, and it's your East Coast bias, and then you have your guys out on the West Coast. More Dodgers should be in. I say good for you. Let the people in Kansas City vote as much as they want to, because you know what? Dodgers fans can vote as much. Yankees fans can vote as much. Same with the Mets, same with the Red Sox. If you don't like it, vote more.
And it kind of evened itself out. You saw the bigger markets. You saw Cabrera in Detroit push Cabrera to be the starter, which he should. Of course, he's injured right now. But I think a lot of people took it for granted that their guys would get in. Kansas City Royals fans just voted early. They voted often. And it started to even itself out. You mentioned the outfield for the Royals. I don't think there's an argument for Cain and Gordon. I mean, Gordon is an absolute freak at playing left field. And as far as catcher, Salvador Perez is regarded as one of the best catchers in Major League Baseball. Again, I think you have an argument on Escobar, but the fact is, every market had a chance. Josh Donaldson was way behind, and then the country, the nation of Canada, got behind Josh Donaldson and pushed him as the leading all-around All-Star vote getter. Major League Baseball got exactly what they want. People complained about it, but they got over 600 million votes. Are you kidding me? 500 million people voted for the All-Star Game. To me, Major League Baseball is the big winner in this whole thing.
You tell him, Jay. You tell him.
Jay, trading deadline coming up, and the Royals, just about like everybody else, are looking for some pitching. What are you hearing?
Man, it's tough to say because the Royals have a guy in Chris Medlin. I'm sure you probably remember him from the Atlanta Braves.
Yep. Very
good pitcher, but had 2 Tommy Johns. He's working his way back up. Should be here really close to after the All-Star game. So that's another arm in the rotation. But they've done it with guys like Joe Blanton, which is crazy to think what the Royals have done considering this rotation. Joe Blanton was out of baseball last year. They got Chris Young for $675,000. He started 29 games last year for the Mariners, was comeback player of the year. They've kind of pieced it together. But I get a sense that they're not going to go for the Johnny Cuetos of the world. I don't think they want to rent a player. It's not what the Royals typically do. Rent a player till the end of the year and lose an important chip in your farm system. Could I see the Royals going after a guy that nobody's been talking about, a guy with maybe 2 or 3 years left under his contract where the Royals would hold his rights? After all, that's what they did with James Shields a couple of years ago. They make a trade, but they had 2 years of service time under contract for James Shields. Maybe they'll make a move for a little or known name like an Aaron Harang that's 37 years old that you wouldn't have to give the farm up for.
Wait, Jay, I got an idea for you.
Yeah.
And you're familiar with him. How about Jorge De La Rosa?
Huh? Always a suggestion. I don't know if guys. I don't know if they go pitching. I'll never forget the Sanchez vote or trade for Jeremy Guthrie with the Rockies a few years ago. But here's the thing, guys. I don't know if they're going to go pitching. I do think a guy like Ben Zobrist is going to be in the equation because he can play second base and right field, which are complete holes for the Royals right now. But I'm not 100% sure this team's going to make a trade for a pitcher. It's really not in their style to be trade deadline movers.
Well, Jay, really appreciate your time, and hopefully we'll be talking to you down the pennant stretch.
All right, you guys, anytime.
All right, Jay Binkley. He is the co-host of The Day Shift on 610 Sports in Kansas City. That segment sponsored by John Elway Chevrolet, Colorado's #1 Chevy dealer.
When you go to buy a car, what do you really want? You probably want a lot of cars to choose from. And you want the dealership's best price. Not some starting price or target price, the best price. And you want it immediately, not after hours of negotiating. And you want a salesperson who doesn't get paid more if you spend more. Because, well, you don't want to spend more. Well, you're in luck. John Elway wants all of those things too. Better yet, John Elway wants you to have all of those things too. Come see us or click on johnelwaychevrolet.com.